Welcome to Direction Northeast. Hello, I'm Holly Carter. This program is a presentation of the Communications Department of Northeast State Community College. This episode of Direction Northeast takes a look behind the scenes of the Northeast State Theater Department's upcoming production. We'll meet our guest and start our discussion following these messages.
My name is Ann Rowell. I'm an actress, and I got my start at Northeast State Community College. Just as acting truly allows me to express myself and learn new things about myself, my whole experience at Northeast State has allowed me to do that. I've found new interests, new hobbies, new passions that I would have never known had I not come here. Northeast State gave me a quality education, amazing friendships, but most importantly, it allowed me to discover who I want to be.
A Christmas Carol is a beloved book that has seen many big screen and stage adaptations. This semester, the theater department at Northeast State will be staging their own adaptation called Ebenezer. Our guest is Assistant Professor of Theater and producer of the upcoming production. Elizabeth Sloan, welcome to Direction Northeast.
Thank you so much for asking me to be here, Holly.
How are you doing today?
I'm excellent.
Good. Well, I'd like to just start with you telling me all about your job as producer.
My job as a producer is not exciting at all, really. I always joke that I'm a paper monkey because basically I just do a lot of paperwork, which that is my job as the head of the theater department. I do a lot of paperwork, but specifically for Ebenezer, I'm buying a lot of very odd things on the internet that we can't find locally. Like today I'm going to buy lots of steampunk goggles, hats, I think I'm buying a monocle, so all sorts of weird things. I bought a very weird robot something the other day, so I often just use buy weird things for the production that the student designers have asked me to buy.
Okay, so you're kind of like prop master too.
Yeah, I'm the money bags, so I just buy everything that the designers need me to buy for them for the show and say no, we're not appropriate or we don't have the money for it. But that's my main job as producer, and hopefully then just to help get the word out about this show that we're all very excited about.
All right, so tell me a little bit about yourself, like how you got started and what all you've done.
Absolutely, my very first play ever was in the 4th grade. We did the history of Tennessee, and I was Patsy Cline. Yeah, I sang crazy. It's pretty epic, and I have very hilarious pictures of that. If you want to see them, I'm sure you can blackmail me with them. And so I've done theater my whole life. I went to college, did theater, got my MFA from the University of Louisville, and worked at the Barter Theater for about almost 5 years, where I became a member of the professional union, the Actors Equity Association. So I'm a professional actor, although now definitely I teach more. Moved to Chicago and had a great time there and met my husband, and then here I've been at Northeast State for 6 years as head of the department. And this year in particular, we have 2 full-time faculty members in the theater department. Brad McKenzie is full-time this year, which he's never been before, and we've never had 2 people in this department. So this is kind of an epic year.
Okay, so did you think that you would be directing at Northeast State one day, or?
No, not at all, no. I always knew I wanted to teach. When I lived in Chicago, I started feeling like, okay, I want to teach, I'm ready for it. I felt like I'd worked enough professionally as an actor, and I'd also worked in the business world at a marketing firm. So I thought the combination of those 2 things really would help me teach theater students. And it just so happened that my predecessor at the Northeast State Theater Department was leaving, and he let me know that the job was available. So all the cards just lined up, and I love being here in East Tennessee, and Northeast State's been very supportive of the theater department, so I feel very fortunate.
So this was kind of your dream job, you would say?
To be a theater teacher? Absolutely. It really has, and I'm surrounded by, like I said, a lot of people who are very supportive, so I feel very lucky. I really do.
Okay, do you enjoy being the producer or the director more?
Being a director is still very stressful for me. Directing a show, that was not my forte. Acting's always been my forte. So for me, directing, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Producer, I feel a little like I'm better at it. I've learned over the years to really manage a budget and manage, I don't know, all sorts of tedious paperwork things. I can do that, I think. So I enjoy directing, but it is indeed terrifying. But all the more reason to do it. So I direct every year, but it is nice to let watch Brad McKenzie, who's the director for this show, watch him grow and in his craft of directing. It's fun to watch.
So you would always choose producing over directing?
I don't think always. 'Cause I'm really excited about the show I'm directing in the spring. So I don't know. Maybe I've taken my turn and now I'm feeling a little more confident with my directing. Ask me the same question next year. We'll see what the answer is.
Okay. So just some more about like this upcoming play. What inspired Brad to write this play?
And I'm speaking for Brad, but luckily I've heard him speak about this for a long time. We had the idea last spring. Oh gosh, everyone's been asking us to do Christmas Carol. It's such a popular show. Everyone wants us to do it. Christmas Carol, I think everyone's seen it. Everyone's probably read the book by Charles Dickens. We've all seen it. And so I think Brad and I were like, we made a rule years ago that we would only do shows that excited us, and then of course gave our students all the opportunities that they needed. So Brad asked, he's like, hey, since we're doing Christmas Carol, can I write my own adaptation? And I remember thinking, you were a crazy man. So basically you want to direct and write, and you're going to be the technical director, like where you are glutton for punishment. But that is what Brad does, and I think it's part of my job to encourage him and say yes. So I'm not 100% sure what inspired him. I know he thought really hard about what kind of adaptation he wanted to write. And he ended up with Ebenezer that's set in the age of steam. That's a steampunk. It's set in the steampunk time period with robots and time travel, because nothing says Christmas like robots and time travel.
So what did you think when he was telling you about A Christmas Carol and steampunk and robots?
So luckily I know Brad and trust Brad as a human and as an artist. When he told me, I was like, okay. It took me a second to adjust. Then he explained it to me more, and then I finally read the script. And I got so excited about it. I feel like this is an opportunity to really celebrate innovation and bravery. It's such a fresh, new adaptation. I think people are going to be so surprised by it and really enjoy it because it stays true to the story. But it is, like I said, robots and time travel. It's unexpected. I don't know what Charles Dickens would think about it. I think he'd like it, actually. So yeah, it did take a little bit of time to adjust, and it's so fun to see people's reactions talking about it. Certain people will say, huh. I saw a girl who was checking me out at Michael's when I was shopping for the theater, and she said, sweet. Right, so I get very different reactions, which has been really fun.
Okay, so tell us, what exactly is steampunk?
Sure, steampunk, gosh, it seems the past few years it has just exploded. It's so popular. Steampunk is an imagined culture, a time period, I guess, that combines the Victorian England time period with science fiction, where everything's powered by steam. So when you usually see this, you see Victorian era clothing, but with cool steam-powered contraptions and gadgets. If you Google steampunk, you are overwhelmed with, and there's apparently different subsects of steampunk. There's Western steampunk, and there's all sorts of different kinds, and it's really popular. And one thing I know, Brad really wanted to set this with some steampunk in it, because it seems like it's such a popular design aesthetic. Like, so many kids love to design steampunk in class, for example, but he'd never seen anyone incorporate it really into a play. So we don't know if there's anyone's ever incorporated steampunk into a play before. So we really wanted to try that, and our student designers have been thrilled. They have been having a blast.
Wow. A production like Ebenezer requires special sets, hair and makeup, and costumes. Emily Whitehead visited the theater and talked with some of the cast and crew.
Students at Northeast State Community College have been hard at work preparing for the upcoming premiere of Ebenezer. We're here at the Wellmont Regional Center for the Performing Arts, and we're going to take a look behind the scenes of Northeast State's production, Ebenezer. Ebenezer is a spin-off of the classic tale, A Christmas Carol. But what makes it different? We asked writer and director Brad McKenzie.
most theaters always do a Christmas Carol around this time of year, and everybody knows the story, and I felt it was kind of played out.
The costuming department has been hard at work. We spoke with co-costume designer Marty France about his role in the upcoming production.
I'm creating two separate worlds from each other, and some of the actors are playing dual roles, so I have to do double the costumes for each of those. And I don't know, we just kind of collaborated, come up with a scheme that we wanted, and then I just make the costumes.
Those coming to the performance should expect a classic tale with a modern twist.
This play takes place, it's a play within a play, if that makes sense. So the idea that there's like a traveling show of performers that put on this annual show, like this parable, which is kind of what happens in real life with your Christmas Carol.
This design cannot be complete without talented makeup designer Dustin Lawson.
The play within the play, the overall play, the first play you see is a bunch of vaudeville-style carnival workers who have kind of, what I get from it is they've already done a show once that day, so their makeup is not that great. It's rubbed off some. They're just doing their everyday, mundane, like chores in the show, so they're just kind of doing their own business. The show within the show, the Victorian era style with Ebenezer, that's the more steampunk, your classic Victorian silhouettes.
Acting in this production has been challenging. We asked lead actor Richard Jackson how he prepared himself for the role of Ebenezer Scrooge.
It's been tough, but you know, with the help of my director and also the help of my acting teacher, Miss Elizabeth Sloan, I've found ways and exercises to get into that place to where I don't completely hurt myself or go to a place I don't need to go, but I'm able to understand what I need to do for the character and give enough to be there, but also keep myself in control.
Northeast State's I, Ebenezer is a production you don't want to miss. Opening night is Thursday, December 4th at 7:30 p.m. in the Wellmont Regional Center for the Performing Arts. Admission for Northeast State students is free. For all others, $10.
Cratchit, I do not pay you to greet leeches that haunt at my door to beg.
All right, Elizabeth, this sounds like it's going to be an interesting show. So tell us more about how it all came to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. We started, I guess in the spring we gathered our student designers. A lot of times the student designers will come to us and ask for a new challenge, something maybe they've never done before. Because at Northeast State, our theater department, we really want our students to have as much responsibility and ownership of the show as possible. Brad and I really take a back seat when it comes to designing the show. They do so much. Gosh, our students do so much. I'm so proud of them. I could gush forever about how wonderful they are. But so in the spring, they asked we assigned all the design positions. And then, gosh, in July, like I think it was the very beginning of July, before the holiday, even the 4th of July, we had our first meetings with the students. So we've been working on this since July. We would have weekly meetings, what we call production meetings, with all the designers and Brad and myself, and started the design process, which is such a fun process, especially for the students, because they learn such amazing skills that translate to anything really, even if it's outside of theater. Which I think that's part of our job, is to help them have skills, develop any skills that are translatable. So they really learn how to work together and collaborate, and that's not always easy to do. So it's so fun to see them. And then just the other day, we had this wonderful moment of collaboration between some of the designers. So they're still surprising each other, they're still surprising us. So we've been working on it for a really long time, and auditions were right when we came back to school. And we have Northeast State students, both theater majors and non-theater majors, and we even have a few community members that are in the show. So, and it's about 14, I think, actors in the show, which is, for Brad McKenzie, he usually directs very large shows with like 30 people in the cast. So this has been a new experience for him, too, to have a little more intimate of a cast.
All right, so you've got students that are designers, makeup artists, and
So what do we have? We have 2 student costume designers. We have a makeup designer and an assistant makeup designer. light designer, props designer, who's also like the scenic artist, props designer, and I feel like I'm missing something else. Oh, then we have a student technical director, and then we have a student stage manager and a student assistant stage manager. And an alumni sound designer. So it's a huge group, and like I said, we still meet every week for artistic meetings, and God, they work so hard, and they have come up with some of the most amazing things. And some of these designers were our same designers for Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, our production this past spring, and to see their growth, how much better they've gotten, their growth has been astounding. Their costume designs are so innovative, and their makeup designs are so creative, and all of it together tells the story of Ebenezer, which is the point. So they've been working their tails off. So they've been really excited about this one.
All right, so I know in the Odyssey you had puppetry.
We sure did.
Any puppets in this
No,
production?
thank goodness. Not because we didn't love it, but once again, I think I've said before, Brad's this crazy mad genius, and I am privileged enough to collaborate with him. We collaborate so beautifully in our job in the theater department, which is so nice. And Brad is definitely the innovative thinker, and it's my job often to be like, whoa, Brad, are you sure? Like, maybe we need to not be so crazy. And he almost always wins me over, and I'm like, okay, yes, why shouldn't we celebrate innovation? Why shouldn't we go big or go home? Let's do crazy stuff, and we do, and our kids that's our job. We do this for our students to have so many opportunities. And yes, the puppets, that was very ambitious of us. But I will say, we do have a time-traveling spaceship in this one. So there you go. There's that. And it's pretty amazing. I think we all see it and get a little like geeky and giddy because it's pretty epic. It's a pretty cool space machine.
All right. Well, I know you've got the whole steampunk going in there,
Right.
but is it going to be comical or serious?
Both. It is both. There are such great moments of comedy. There are really some tender moments, some very serious moments. The story, I mean, like Christmas Carol, the original story, I think what is so appealing about this story, why it's done every year, all the time, is that transformative nature of Scrooge. He starts out as this grumpy bad guy and then takes a voyage and then learns from his mistakes and embraces a whole new lot in life. That's why I think all of us humans love that idea of a second chance and redemption. So that is still the core of Ebenezer, that concept, the concept that I think is the most appealing of Christmas Carol. So that's the main point of Christmas Carol, right? And the main point of Ebenezer. So because of that, there are those serious moments, but there's also some really funny moments. I mean, there's talking robots, which is weird and funny, and the student actor who is playing him is wonderful and amazing. So I think people can expect to see a little bit of everything.
All right, so you're still going to implement like the ghost of past, present, and future?
Well, kind of. So let me tell you a little about like how our plot of Ebenezer is going to go. It supposes that Scrooge is an owner of a company, of an automaton company, robots, right? And Marley, his friend, has already passed away, and he's the one who started that company with him. And Scrooge becomes obsessed with the idea of robots taking over the world to get rid of human error, okay? So he becomes obsessed and money and greedy and all that stuff. Well, he obviously is going in a very dangerous path. And so usually we have Marley as the first visitor. Well, same thing for here. In the show Ebenezer, Marley is a robot. We call him Marleybot. And one night, a woman from the future, a mysterious woman from the future, comes to Scrooge, and she, along with Marleybot, go to their time-traveling spacecraft. Gosh, to say this out loud, it's really funny. They take it and then take Scrooge to the past, to his present, and to the future. So it's still, the core is still the same, except with robots and time travel. And I'm not even giggling because I'm making fun of it, because I'm so excited about it. When I saw a run-through a few weeks ago, I kind of just sat there and giggled with glee, thinking, gosh, I'd so much rather see this play than the same Christmas Carol that we've all seen and love, but it's a nice palate cleanser, if you will. So, does it make sense what it means?
Yes.
So
Sounds good.
there's some good stuff. It sounds weird, I will admit, but I think everyone's going to get a kick out of it. The innovation, it's so interesting. So, gosh, I hope people come. It's going to be really awesome.
Okay, so you've told me about how you're going to keep Marley
Yes.
as a robot, but I have to know,
Okay.
what about Tiny Tim?
Tiny Tim is in the show. Yes, Tiny Tim actually plays a pretty decent sized part. He definitely is in the play. So don't worry. Yeah, you can't get rid of Tiny Tim. So he's absolutely there.
Okay. Did the students build the set?
Yes, the students, they do everything. They really do. Like I said, they build the costumes. Every day they're in there doing makeup tests to make sure the makeup looks good and looks good under the lights. And then Brad is the main. He builds most of them, right? But we also have our technical director student. He also builds the set. And almost always every semester, Intro to Theater, you may remember, you were in the Intro to Theater class with me. Intro to Theater students are required to have a few lab hours, which means they work in the shop, just so they can really experience what it means to work on theater. Almost every semester, some amazing rock star will show up. Someone who has nothing to do with being a theater major, and they'll walk in. We have a student now named Summer who's the best carpenter of all time. And she has just kind of come in and really helped build the set. And there's a few people like that who just seem to show up and just love it and really take ownership of building the set, along with, of course, Brad supervising. So they do everything. They really do.
Okay, what about any special effects or prosthetics?
Yes, actually, that too. Like I know today I'm ordering some special lighting effects. Of course, the spaceship is going to be super tricked out with smoke machines and amazing blinky, swirly lights, and I'm sure that's very technical, and Brad would be mortified by the way I'm talking about lights. But all sorts of amazing stuff like that. And yes, Dustin Lawson is our makeup designer, student makeup designer, and he has been making prosthetics. And I'm just blown away so he just did his own research because I don't know how to do that. We don't have a makeup teacher on this campus. So he has had to really teach himself. And every day he made this really cool nose for Scrooge because, of course, the student playing Scrooge is a young man who looks very young, and he's quite a handsome fellow. So they made a prosthetic nose. They have prosthetic robot pieces for certain characters. I've just been blown away with the work that he's been doing because it's all self-motivated.
Right. Is there a specific character that you think the audience will relate to or fall in love with?
There's so many. I think everyone's going to love Marley Bot because I think it's just so interesting, and it's such a familiar character written down in such a different way. I think everyone's going to love Scrooge, of course. Seeing his voyage is exciting. And I think kind of the real breakout star character of this play is going to be this mysterious time traveler from the future. She is wonderful and is also played by a student named Heather Christian. And gosh, she's really embraced this role and has just tackled it in such a good, positive way. I think she's really that character. She's a broad, kind of a tough broad. Who's sassy and tough and on a mission, and she's awesome. So this mysterious time-traveling woman, she's definitely, I think, going to be a new favorite because she's the new character that is not in the original. So I think people are really going to like her.
Okay, well, I know you're used to directing and producing, but if you could play one role in this, what do you think you would choose?
Okay, so it's funny you asked me that. So I am an actor, and I miss it. Sometimes I really miss it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, thank gosh, I'm not acting, right? But when I watched The Run the other day, I was so impressed by the growth of all the students. I was getting a little misty-eyed, at their growth, but also like, oh, I want to do that. Like, I want to go back on stage now and see if I've grown any, because if you're an artist and you stop growing, then you're dead. So I haven't acted on stage in a few years. Gosh, I think it's been 5 years. So there are a ton. Let me see. The one in particular, Scrooge's. They're in a flashback sequence. We see Scrooge's first wife. Her character's name is Eliza. That's a really fun role. And also Bob Cratchit's wife. is a wonderful role, and I would love to. Then the Caitlin Holmes and Hannah Duncan play those, are the actresses who play them. They just kill it. It's so good, and yeah, I think those two roles for me as a woman would be fun. Of course, I probably would like to play Scrooge. Let's be honest, but the two female roles, I would like those very much so.
Okay, and after this is all said and done, how does it feel to have it all come together?
Amazing. Amazing, and then like you want to take a 5-month vacation, and the Christmas vacation is never long enough to recover. But it always feels amazing. Like it's just now kind of really coming together. It's crunch time right now. So every day we get a little closer, and we get a little more excited about it. And you know, I'll tell you too, I don't know if I can mention this, you know, students get free tickets. Every Northeast State student gets a free ticket. But also we're doing something new this year. Adult tickets are usually $10. This year, every Northeast State faculty and staff member is going to get 2 $5 tickets for any show they want to. So that's something new, because we hope that people will come to see the show. So, and the staff and faculty work so hard on this campus, like they need to get a little perk too. So we're doing that as well. So hopefully everyone will be excited to see it all come together campus-wide.
Wow, that sounds awesome. What is your favorite part about the production?
I probably will answer. Okay, so in general, I'll answer the same way always. Seeing my students, seeing the theater students just work so hard, dedicate themselves, their time, their energy, their creativity, and then having them pull it off. They're so brave. It's so inspiring. It's such a risky thing to put themselves out there. That is my favorite part always, just to see that process unfold and then to see them succeed is fantastic. Specifically to the show, there is a moment when Scrooge goes to the future, and I don't want to give away too much, right? But when he finally realizes, wow, I've messed up, you know, I need to change things. It's a really powerful moment. So I don't want to give away too much, but it's pretty amazing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap up Direction Northeast.
My name is Brad Ketcherin. I'm a registered nurse, and I got my start at Northeast State. I chose nursing because it gives me the opportunity to take care of people. I know I'll always have a job, and it gives me the opportunity to travel, which I've always wanted to do. So Northeast State was a great start for me. I was able to get my associate's degree there and transfer to a 4-year college to get my RN license. I had always planned on going to college, but I wasn't really sure where I was going to go. After graduating Northeast State, I can truly say it was a good decision.
My name is Ann Rowell. I'm an actress, and I got my start at Northeast State Community College. Just as acting truly allows me to express myself and learn new things about myself, my whole experience at Northeast State has allowed me to do that. I've found new interests, new hobbies, new passions that I would have never known had I not come here. Northeast State gave me a quality education, amazing friendships, but most importantly, it allowed me to discover who I want to be.
That concludes the program for today. We have talked about the many factors that contribute to the stage production of Ebenezer. Community is very important to the students at Northeast State Community College, and this program takes a look at a few of the subjects they find important. Until we meet next time, on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty of Northeast State Community College, I'm Holly Carter, and this is Direction Northeast.